This story is about a real encounter that a friend had, which he wouldn't fully reveal to me even when pressed. My friend mentioned once that 2 people actually died during this incident, and he was doggedly questioned by the police. I heard this story during my college years from him. It happened when he and 6 friends from his part-time job decided to drive to a suspension bridge in a certain prefecture within the Chugoku region of Japan. They set out in 2 cars that day. He was driving the second car. In the first car rode their manager from work, and a couple recognized by everyone in their circle, even by their parents, as being together, while the remaining 4, including him, took the second car, with him as their driver. Despite setting off in the morning, their multiple detours meant they only arrived at the suspension bridge late in the day as dusk was falling. The bridge spanned a deep valley nestled within the mountains. As they approached the bridge, a light rain started falling, and a thin mist began to rise. There was a clearing before the bridge where they planned to park the cars, cross the bridge by foot, and then return. The other side of the bridge was a dead end, and this bridge seemed to have been preserved for sightseeing purposes. However, upon reaching the clearing, the leading car came to a sudden stop. The 4 in the second car, stopped about 10 meters back, couldn't understand why the manager had stopped, and were frozen in confusion for a moment. Just as he was about to get out and see what was happening, the couple from the back seat of the first car burst out and ran. He too got out shouting, "What happened?" As he approached, the 2, holding hands, sprinted with tremendous speed, leaping over the guardrail at the edge of the clearing, and hurling themselves into the valley below. They, shocked, ran to the guardrail to peer into the valley but could see nothing through the mist. Regaining their composure, the 4 went to check on the manager in the first car. The manager, gripping the steering wheel so tightly his knuckles turned white, was murmuring repeatedly in a low voice, "We shouldn't go. We shouldn't go. We shouldn't go." They eventually called the police. The police arrived promptly, and the manager, having lost his wits entirely by then, was taken away in an ambulance. Later, the bodies of the 2 were inevitably discovered. They were rigorously questioned by the police, but ultimately it was concluded as a joint suicide. Later, when visiting the manager, he inquired about what had happened that day. The manager recounted that a girl, clad in an old-fashioned kimono, had suddenly appeared from the mist in front of the car. Thinking it dangerous, he slammed on the brakes, stopping the car. The girl, wearing her hair in a bobbed style reminiscent of a historical drama or something from the Meiji period, was inexplicably smiling. "Should we escape?" he thought, noticing they were surrounded by children dressed similarly. Feeling a deep dread, the manager began to mentally recite prayers. The encircling children joined hands and started singing a traditional children's song. Then he heard children's voices urging, "Come here, come here, come here," in his head. The manager kept his grip tight on the wheel, continuing to recite his prayers. Suddenly, the 2 from the back seat got out, joined hands with the children, and all started running together, over the guardrail, toward the cliff. "The police won't believe this story, man. Even I'm not sure anymore if what happened was real," the manager finally told him. Another friend, who was also listening, jokingly said it was a well-made-up story. To that he simply responded, "It's true. That's how A and B died. I believe it's true too."
It's over. How was it? Didn't it give you a bit of a chill? This story was actually experienced by a friend of mine. Whether you believe it or not is up to you, but somehow, it seems like you might look back while walking on a dark road at night. Well, whether it's true or not, is a secret. Then, let's meet again in the next story. Good night.